There we go. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Tuesday, April 13th edition of MMAOB Daily Podcast. I'm your host, as always, Adam Martin. I'm joined by the big man here, Mr. Big Marcel Dorff. What's going on, big guy?
Hey, what's up, man? Same thing as yesterday, right? So all good. How are you?
I'm okay. I mean, yeah, I agree with you. Pretty much the same thing. By the way, I see there's odds up right now for one championship. I thought that was tape delayed. There's no way I want to bet on something that's been filmed already.
Yeah, now I've kind of heard that it's tape delayed, but it's not tape delayed like in 1 week or 2 weeks ago, but it's tape delayed for like 1 or 2 days. So
that's just bizarre. And so actually, I should mention, this is kind of funny. Some guy messaged me last week, Marcel, saying, he's like, hey, man, he's like, this is a weird story, but I'm not going to say who the guy is. I don't even know who he is, actually. He sent me a DM on Twitter, and he was like, hey, I got this news for you. He goes like, I was on this dating app, and this girl that works for One Championship, I was talking to her on this dating app, and she told me that Sage Northcutt has COVID and his fight is off. This was like last week. I'm like, what? Really? The guy sent me the screenshots too. I was like, what the hell? It's so random, right? So I tried to like get the information. I was asking people that I know at One, and of course they break the news themselves, right? Because I'm sure they knew that it was leaked out already. But yeah, it was pretty funny though, Marcel. Like, the guy goes, hey, I got some news. This girl told me in this dating app. I'm like, what are you talking about, man? He actually had the screenshots. It looked legit as hell, too. So he was right. I got to give the guy props, man.
crazy, man. Yeah, but you see also like Akiyama's off the card, Aliakbari, Tegen Malcoon is off the card, Martin Nguyen is off the card. So yeah.
Yeah, it sucks. Those guys are good fighters. Anyways, just wanted to mention that because there is a good fight. Christian Lee and Timothy Nastasiuk. That is a great fight. Give me your prediction for that one. What are you thinking, Christian Lee?
Honestly, I think Timothy has a good chance, man.
There we go. Yeah, I think so too. The odds are crazy. Minus 350 for Christian, plus 275 for Timothy. This guy's got a lot of power, man. He definitely could knock him out, right?
Yeah, the funny thing is, man, I was super impressed by Christian Lee defeating Dagi Aslanaliev. I thought he was going to lose that one. So he did win, and he also defeated Lapicus last time out, so impressive, man. And we always call him Nasty Timofey Nastasiuk. Nasty Tim did well, man. In his last fight, he defeated Peter Buist, my countryman. So title shot for him. Looking forward to it, man. I think it's a fun fight, and that division is pretty good at One, man. So I really look forward to it.
I'm with you. Anyways, want to mention that, and then I'll also plug the podcast with AJ on Thursday at 4 p.m. Eastern. We'll be breaking down Bellator 257. Should be a pretty good card. But we obviously have a big UFC event this weekend. I think there's 13 or 14 fights. Let's just get right into it, okay? Start off here in the lightweight division. We have Austin Hubbard against Dakota Bush. And Austin Hubbard comes in right now as a small favorite, minus 175. Dakota Bush, plus 145. What are you thinking in this one, Marcel?
Yeah, it's actually a tough one, man, because I think Dakota Bush is a really good fighter, man. I saw many of his fights in LFA. I really like what I saw. We know he got defeated by Jaleel Willis in one of his most recent fights. Is already 2019, I think, but he only fought 2 times after that.
Yeah.
His last 2 fights were quick, man. A rear naked choke and a head kick against Austin Clem, which was a pretty good KO. I mean, if you knock somebody out within 1 minute, then it's always a pretty good KO, I guess. Austin Hubbard, I was kind of high on Austin Hubbard, not gonna lie, man. And we know he lost his Davy Ramos debut in the UFC, which wasn't surprising. But he won against Kyle Pripolek. He didn't look that bad against Marco Madsen, I think. The Rose Cup fight, kind of a weird fight, I think, how it went. And the Selecki fight, his most recent fight, it was kind of a shocker for me how he got submitted very in the first round. I think it was a standing rear naked choke, if I can recall correctly. Man, it's a short notice fight, for Dakota Bush. It's only a 1 week notice fight, so I expect Hubbard to go in guns blazing. He has to win this one. He won only 1 of his last 3 fights, and his only win was against Max Roskopf, a guy who has huge talent, but the UFC already cut him after that performance. So I think Hubbard needs to win this one. Dakota Bush is a short notice replacement. So that said, I'm going with Hubbard via decision. But I think it's might have been different if this was not a short notice fight for Dakota Bush.
Yeah. By the way, this guy has a great nickname, Dakota Harry Bush. I mean, that is a freaking great nickname, man. Hey, Jose, what's going on, man? You know what? So I did the tape study today because I think this fight just got announced this morning or something, or maybe it was last night. But yeah, you know what, man? I got to be honest. I liked what I saw from this kid. He looks good, Dakota Bush. He looks really good to me, man. He's very strong. He's aggressive. He's got pretty good wrestling. He goes for the takedown. He gets the submissions. He gets in dominant positions. He has some strike. He knocked some guy with a head kick in LFA that's watching today. So this guy's pretty good, man. The short notice gives me some pause, obviously. I mean, it's obviously going to, but I don't feel like Austin Hubbard's this great fighter. I got to be honest, man. 2-3 in the UFC, and the one win over Max Roskopf is only finished. I mean, that guy quit. I watched that fight again today. That dude quit. His coach was begging him, please don't do this. He got cut after Marcel. I remember doing the podcast last year. I said, Dana White will hate this kid forever. They cut him the next day, I think, right? So they didn't even give him a chance. You can't quit on the stool in the UFC. So, I mean, that win is not a great win, and Pepper Lake's not a great win. It's not even about wins and losses, really, just what I saw in the footage. Bush just seems like a bigger, stronger, more aggressive guy. Now, this is a step up for him, obviously, and on short notice, so I'm not, super confident. Marcel, I'm not saying I'm going to bet him, but I am going to pick the underdog here. I'm going to pick Bush. I think this kid's pretty good, and it's a decent underdog here to start off the night. It's just, plus 130, plus 145, I should say. It's not bad odds. I don't know if I'm going to bet it, though, just because of the short notice. But I'm going to pick this kid just because I don't rate Austin Hubbard that highly, man. I really don't. In the last fight, he got absolutely just destroyed in a minute or whatever, a couple minutes, Marcel. It didn't look easy. So he had a lot of problems with his grappling. Marco Madsen, obviously great wrestler, but took him down. Ramos, great wrestler. Bush is a strong grappling-based fighter. I just looked at his Instagram. He's training with Bryce Mitchell and those guys, TJ Brown. I mean, not great training partners, but not bad. So I don't know. I like this kid, man. Like what I've seen, but it's a close fight, obviously. Go to the next fight here, Marcel, on the card. Next, and we're using the Tapology listing, by the way, guys, in case anyone's wondering. Next fight, according to this, Jessica Penne against Lupita Gunides Lupi. And right now we got Lupi minus 275, Jessica Penne plus 235. She was supposed to fight Hannah Goldie 2 weeks ago, and the fight got canceled. She has a new opponent. What do you think?
Yeah, I prefer Lupita. Lupi sounds like Snoopy, so I mean, kind of sounds weird. So I prefer to say Lupita. Lupita Godinez, I mean, that fight against Vanessa Demopoulos in LFA was good, and I can't really recall her fights. And I know she fought one time in Combate. Yep. She's undefeated. But that Demopoulos fight was a great fight, I think. Jessica Penne, I mean, man, what's the last time she fought? 2017 or something. And she got only one win in the UFC. That was in 2014, a split decision against Randa Marcos. Yeah, man. I mean, I didn't watch anything back or whatever, but I'm just not going to pick Jessica Penne, man, in this fight. I mean, who's picking? No disrespect to Jessica Penne, but how can you trust somebody who hasn't won since 2014? So definitely going with Lupita Godinez here. I think she has more upside as well. She's younger. She's a talented fighter. We saw that in our LFA fight against Demopoulos. So, yeah, definitely going with Godinez. I don't think that she will finish Penne, but definitely unanimous decision win for Lupita Godinez here.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty good prediction, honestly. Like you said, 4-year layoff. What do we expect from her? And she's also not young. She's old, right? She's 38 years old for this division. I'm guessing the oldest fighter in this division at 115, unless I'm forgetting someone. But man, that's just not a good recipe for success, I don't think. And like you said, even in the UFC, she didn't look that great in her fights, man. She really didn't. Lupi is obviously very unproven. Lupita, I should say, not to piss off Marcel. She liked going by Lupi. I don't know why she says. Oh, actually, I can't believe that she's fighting out of British Columbia, Canada. That's awesome. I like that. That's cool. But she's a Mexican fighter, obviously. The fight in Kabache was awesome. That fight was really good. Felicia Magalan, that's a fun fight. It's on YouTube. You can watch it. Just a slugfest. The Vanessa Demopoulos fight was like a stand-up war, too. It was a good fight. This girl's good. I mean, she's aggressive. She walks forward. She throws bombs. She's good. She doesn't have much knockout power by any means, but I don't think she needs it in this fight. I just think she needs to be more aggressive, walk forward. She obviously has some issues, though. She's really small, Marcel. She's like 5'2", 63-inch reach. That's very small. Penne's a little bit taller, and she has a 5-inch reach advantage, I believe. Yeah, she does. So that's something to keep in mind. But the thing is, Penne doesn't use those things. She doesn't use her jab. You know what I mean? So yeah, I think Lupi's just going to be walking forward, throwing punches. Don't even know if they connect or not, but she's just going to be more aggressive and probably win decision. So that's what I'm thinking there. The line's a little bit high because, she's making her debut on short notice. She is filling on short notice. We should mention that. But I think she gets the job done, Marcel. It's just a lot of these fighters that were like good at one point, they're just not good anymore. I think Penny's going to, 4-year layoff. I don't expect much from her in this fight. All right, next up. This fight is a real weird fight. Zarah Fairn against Josiane Nunes. This fight is just bizarre. I honestly don't know why Zarah Fairn's in the UFC. I got to be honest. Watching her fights again, I don't see a UFC caliber fighter here. I don't know if Nunes is either, though. That's the thing. So the odds right now, very close. Marcel, Nunes minus 125, Fairn plus 105. I think Nunes took it on short notice, if I'm not mistaken. Is that right?
Nah, man, this was booked that wasn't short notice.
Okay, so they both had somewhat of a training camp, I guess. What's your pick on this one?
Zarah Fairn, what can we say about her, man? We saw her 2 times in the UFC, and 2 times it didn't look good. She fought Megan Anderson, she fought Felicia Spencer. Before she came in the UFC, she got a win against Isabella Badurak, a girl who also fought in the UFC only once. She lost to against a Russian girl who was also not in the UFC anymore. I forgot her name. With those booty pics on Instagram, I forgot her name. Give me her name.
Zarah Fairn fought her or
no, Zarah Fairn. No, Isabella Badurak fought her in the UFC.
Veronica Macedo, is that the one?
No, the Russian one, the Russian girl.
Alexander Albu.
Yeah, Alexander Albu, exactly. My camera's off, man.
Yeah, I know. I was going to ask you, man. Put it back on.
Yeah.
There we go.
Sorry, man.
That's okay.
I didn't even know. Josiane Nunes, she got a contract like a few months ago from the UFC. She got only 1 loss on her record, and that's against Taylor Santos, right? And Taylor Santos does really well in the UFC despite her only loss against Mara Romero Barella. Really hard to say anything about this fight, in my opinion. It's what you say, man. Fairn isn't that good, what we saw so far. And Nunes, I don't know if she's really that good, but is she better than Fairn? I like to take that chance that she's better than Fairn. So I'm going with a KO or TKO in the first or second round for the Brazilian.
Yeah, honestly, they're both not good. I watched their tape, and they're just not great. Fairn, you know what? She didn't look too bad in her other fights. The UFC fight, she looked just terrible in. She got taken down, beat up both the fights against Anderson and Spencer. I'll give her some credit, but she looked okay in her other fights. She's decently aggressive. She's got okay striking. Her striking defense is beyond terrible, though. She's going to fight someone who's striking like this girl Nunes. She could have problems. Here's the problem, though. This girl's really small. This Nunes girl, she looks really small to me. I liked watching her fight. She's like Wanderlei Silva, man. She's actually exciting. She goes against the fence and just start throwing punches. It's crazy, right? But she's very small. And I do question that, man. Because Fairn is a girl coming down from featherweight, right? So she's a pretty big girl, and this Nunes is pretty small from what I saw. So I think that could be a problem here. Man, I hate picking this fight because they're both really not that good. But you got to pick someone, right? I guess I lean slightly towards Fairn, even though I don't want to pick her. It's just that I feel like the size will be an issue in this fight, just like that fight last week with Blanchfield and Dumont. Although this won't be as crazy. That's my pick in this one. Jose, he says, how on earth Romanov must be on the main card? Even Porter Sherman was scheduled to be on. Yeah, it's ridiculous. It's a great fight. We'll talk about it in a second. And Dan says it's the fight he's looking forward to. Yeah, for sure.
But Dana says every fight has a certain place because he has researched it and everything. And they have he knows exactly everywhere where a fight goes on the card. And then, sometimes you see a card and you're like, the prelims are even better than the main card. And it's like, what the hell? How is it even possible? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah, sorry for the Dana bashing. Sometimes
it's fine. Don't worry about it. But he's right there, so you got to be careful because he's watching.
Yeah, but you were in front of him, so I don't have to watch him.
True. Okay, let's go to the next fight then. Tony Gravely against Anthony Bruchak, 135 pounds, and Tony Gravely's a big favorite here. Minus 320, Bruchak plus 260. I expect Gravely to roll. What do you think?
Yeah, same, man. Bruchak, he came back in the UFC short notice. Gustavo Lopez. Didn't look good at all. It was a short notice fight, so I cut him some slack there. He was in the UFC before, went on a nice kind of a streak, right before he went back to the UFC. He lost 3 times in Ryzen after he got cut by the UFC. Got on a nice streak, like I said, but lost to Gustavo Lopez. Tony Gravely, I really like Gravely, man. He he looked really good in the Contender Series. Had a great fight against Ray Rodriguez there. Third round finish. Before that, I watched many of his CES MMA fights. So I was really impressed there. I've always said, like, I hope we see him quick in the UFC. He's finally there. Then lost his debut against Brett Johnson, an amazing fight in my opinion, which I don't know if it got fight of the night, but should have got fight of the night. Yeah, great fight, man. And after that, he won a split decision against Geraldo de Freitas, who got cut after that. I still think de Freitas is a good fighter, though. Yeah, for me, this is Gravely all the way, man. I think he will roll on the ground, like you said. Submission win for Gravely in the second round, I think.
Yeah, that Brett Johnson fight did win the fight of the night. It was a great fight. Third round submission loss for Gravely, but it was a good back and forth fight. Yeah, I mean, I like Gravely here. The only way I think that Bruchak would win is if he gets him in a submission, because Gravely does have problems with the submissions. That's for sure. So that's an issue. But generally, I think that Gravely's going to be on top of him, beating him up, man. This one's kind of clear to me, actually. I really like Gravely in this fight. He is a big favorite, but I think it's right. Bruchak's a guy that's probably going to get cut from the UFC after this, if I had to say. No disrespect to this guy. I respect him. I mean, he's got here and he's an older fighter, but he's just, I don't think UFC level anymore. What do you think, Marcel? You feel the same way?
Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, same. Exactly the same.
Yeah. Darrington, are you talking about the fight with the last fight? I'm guessing the women's fight. She's small, right? Yeah, exactly. She's a very small girl, so I don't know why she fights at 135, Joey Zian Nunes. To me, she should be at 115 or 125. Okay, let's get to this fight that these guys want to talk about here. Alexander Romanov against Juan Espino. I think this is probably one of the most interesting fights in the card. I'm completely with you, Jose. I'm with you, Marcel. This is a great fight, and the odds are pretty close. Right now, we got Romanov minus 140, Espino plus 120. What are you thinking here?
It has a difficult fight to say what's going to happen.
Very good
for
fight.
For the simple reason that Romanov. Listen, man. Before he got to the UFC, he got some nice victories as well, man. But in the UFC, he defeated Rocky Martinez in the second round. Rocky Martinez, I like the guy, but not been impressed so far. Marcos Rogério de Lima, also not the greatest fighter in my opinion. Definitely not when he's getting on the ground. We saw that before many times, I think. Juan Espino, yeah, he only fought twice in the last 3 years or something. He got to fight the Ultimate Fighter where he won against Justin Frazier. Got wins on the season against Sosoli and Maurice Green, right? And he came back last year against Jeff Hughes with that scarf hold. So difficult, man. Espino is maybe 42 or 43, but the dude looks like he's still in his early 30s. He looks very good, in my opinion. Romanov named as the next big thing at heavyweight. Super difficult fight to pick for me. I would slightly favor Romanov in this one, decision win, but.
This fight, this fight's close. Valerie likes over 1.5. It's possible, Valerie.
Yeah.
I gotta be honest. I felt the same way about that fight last week with Danho, and I ended up not playing it. But these heavyweight fights, you got to be careful. You really do. But I feel like this one might go the distance because these are both grapplers, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, this is an interesting fight because they're both wanting to go to the ground. I don't know. It's tough because Espino gets every fight to the ground. So does Romanov. Like they both love to go to the ground. So it might take place on the feet, and then who has the better striking? I have no idea. I really don't. We've never seen them strike really. The one fight where Espino was striking got knocked out in 10 seconds by Vitaly Minikov. Like he got caught in the first punch. Ever since then, he just takes everyone down. Same with Romanov. At the same time, the age gap is massive. It's like 10-year age gap or something. Like Espino, I think, is 41 now or something. Like he's way up there in age. He's looked great. He might win this fight. This is it's a high variance fight because it's heavyweight. Both guys could win this fight. In general, though, I feel like Romanov has the edge because he's a younger guy. Also, a little bit more bigger. He's a little bit more heavier, and I feel like that could play to an advantage in when it's a grappling fight. And he's got good cardio too. Like he doesn't stop moving, and he's still like punching and stuff, like we saw against Roki. So, yeah, we'll see. I mean, but here's the thing: like Espino's very good, man. He could get him on the ground and get a choke or something. It could easily happen. So it's Romanov, but I think it's kind of a close fight.
It is.
Yeah, it is. Does Marcel know why this fight wasn't announced till late? Do you know what? Do you think their training camps will be impacted? Any idea?
Yeah, it's very simple actually. Romanov announced the fight like 2 months ago, I think, and so I got I can tell this, no matter. I got this fight confirmed, and then I went to Espino's side, and Espino's side was like, "Yeah, I can't confirm, neither can deny." I was like, "Dude, it's pretty much out, you know." And they are like, "Yeah, but we will wait till the UFC officially announces." Okay,
Yeah.
so pretty much everybody has. I think all the sites had the same answer, you know, because no big website, MMA Junkie, MMA Fighting, posted it until it was on the USA TV listings, on Zap TV listings, and then I just was like, "This is on the Zap TV listings. The UFC gives those listings, so." I posted, you know, it's happening, and then other media also posting it, and then Espino, right after I posted it, he posted it as well 5 minutes later. So I was like, okay, cool, we're done, you know. So this fight has been booked for like 2 months or something. So nothing difficult happened. Just a camp who didn't want have any trouble with UFC with getting the news out without any permission. You know, it's difficult sometimes for fighters and for camps because the UFC doesn't appreciate it when fights get announced not by themselves but by media who they actually don't want to have it announced by. You know, so that's the thing. And if they get in trouble because of that, they rather shut up about it than they're gonna tell you. So you gotta respect that, man. So yeah, I mean, it's been booked for 2 months, so no worries. They have a good camp, and
Good.
it's just been announced for 2 weeks. That's it.
This is a dangerous one. Last win for the old man type of fight is also healthy. It's possible. I mean, it's an interesting fight. We'll see. I feel like this fight's not going to be close. Like, it's close on paper, but I feel like you're going to see one guy dominate the fight, kind of. But we'll just have to see what it's going to be. I really don't know. Jamie Gidley, go ahead. Finish your thought. Go ahead.
I want to add to that. It's all the time when I try to announce fights, and I always have to check both sides, right? If it's true or it's not true when I hear something, and the fighters or the camps always tell me the same. Okay, yeah, we will confirm, but please keep our name out of it. Don't tell me I told you. I was like, of course I'm not going to tell. Do you really for example, if you had a fight, Adam, and you say to me like, yeah, it's true, but please don't tell anybody I told you. I'm really not going to tell like Adam Martin is going to fight this or that guy per Adam Martin. Of course not. I mean, it doesn't make sense, you know. So no, I will never say my sources. No worries. But
Good.
I understand that fighters are difficult about it, you know.
Yeah, we'll get these couple questions. We gotta get back to the breakdowns though. Jamie says,
Sorry.
"Hey, how's it going?" Hey, no, it's okay. Jamie, what's going on, man? He says, "Yeah, we haven't." Steven's last win was at Josh. I mean, I watched that fighting, brutal knockout. I mean, man, that was brutal. Question for Marcel: Dutch prospects ready for the UFC, and fair to say, strawweight division, goes stacked female division. Again, can't get too deep into it because we have to get these breakdowns. But like, I would say strawweight's probably the best division right now in the UFC. The Dutch prospects, I don't know. Marcel, is there anyone that?
Actually, it's pretty funny. Jarno Arends, who is from kind of in my region over here, he did an interview with the local newspaper, and he says, now in 10 years, you will see me in the UFC.
Yeah.
So, yeah, maybe him, Jarno Arends. I would put. I hope it for him, man. He's a good fighter. He's working hard, so we'll see, man. There are a lot, but there are also a lot signed already. You got Agi Sardari and Cage Warriors. Maybe he can make the transition with another title defense. You got Gerardo Fanny, who recently lost his Cage Warriors and Cage Warriors for the title. You got many, and I probably I forgot to name a few, but hey, guys, I mean, it is what it is. We'll see.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. Go to the next fight here: Tracy Cortez against Justine Quiche, women's flyweight fight. And right now we have Cortez minus 265, big favorite here, and Quiche plus 225. What are you thinking here?
Yeah, I mean, Tracy Cortez came in the contender series, right, by defeating Maria Agapova. She dominated her with the wrestling. Before that, she fought Erin Blanchfield. I don't want to say anything more about the fight because I did already too many times. She did well so far in the UFC, one against Vanessa Mello, one against Stephanie Egger. But those are fights she should win, in my opinion. Justine Quiche, only one win in her last 4. Doesn't fight really often. She fought 2 times last year, but before that she didn't fight until from 2018. Although I think the Ji-Jun King fight, she should have won that one. I think she won that one clearly, actually. The Sabina Mazo one didn't look good last year. Yeah, I mean, this is a fight for Cortez to win, in my opinion. I think Cortez, as the youth, has the advantage, probably on the ground as well. She's overall a better fighter, I think, and I think Cortez will probably take her down and try to wrestle with her and probably out wrestle her for 3 rounds and win a unanimous decision. That's pretty much what I expect here.
Yeah, and I'm with you. I agree completely. I think she dominates this fight with the wrestling. That's her bread and butter, and she's good at it, right? She's good at getting fights to the ground. Justine Kish watched her fights again, and her takedown defense is not great. It's not terrible, but it's not great. And also, her chin is a little shaky, man. I mean, she got knocked down by Maza with a head kick and then submitted right away. So I feel like her chin's on the decline. She's getting older in age too. She's 33 years old. I would say that she does have the better striking, though. So if she can keep the takedowns, stop the takedowns, and keep it on the feet, she might be able to have some success. But Tracy Cortez, this is someone the UFC obviously is trying to build. This is a matchup that's stylistically pretty favorable to her. I do believe she wins this fight, guys. Probably decision. She's not the most exciting fighter. I'll say that. Like, she's more worried about going on Instagram, posting pictures of herself, I feel like. But she knows what she's doing in the cage, man. So, I'm not convinced she's going to be a star because she doesn't have any finishing ability. She just wins decisions. So, yeah, she's marketable, but I think she needs to get a finish too, Marcel. But I will say that she's damn good with the wrestling, man. I think it's enough for this fight.
I mean, can we make a comparison with her, the wrestling kind of version of Valerie Loreda and Bellator? Maybe.
I think pretty similar. I mean, you can check out her Instagram. I mean, it's just all pictures. Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying there's a problem with that. She looks good and everything.
No, man, they got.
I just feel like I don't know. I feel like some of these fighters like her, Loreda, and the other girl, Aga Raposa or whatever, the Diana girl. Like you said yesterday, like Bellator especially is very bad at this. They'll just get this really attractive girl that can fight a little bit. Like, what was her name? Anastasia Yankova, her a few years ago.
Yeah.
Right?
She I don't know if she's still dating Mike Swick. But
yeah, so they go on her. But here's the thing. I feel like Cortez does have the skills compared to those girls, so I'm going to give her a slight edge on those other girls where I feel like they're very one-dimensional in Bellator, honestly. Like, the Raiders, when is her, besides her striking, have you ever seen her grappling tested? Never, right? So, yeah, I mean, Cortez is she's a grinder and she's gritty and she's got a good story and everything with her. I think her brother was killed, right? She talked about that in the Contender Series. So, yeah, I like the girl. I'm just saying, like, she wants to be the star for the UFC, but she has no finishes, man. She's got to finish a fight. UFC, they can't promote people to just win decisions. They just don't do it. They don't do it. They never have, Marcel. So, yeah, she's marketable, but she's got to dominate this fight, and I think she does. But a finish would be key. If she got a submission here, be really good for her career, I think. Mm-hmm. All right, next up, Gerald. This is the last prelim. Gerald Mearshart against Bartosz Fabinski. This is a close one, too. Bartosz minus 130, Gerald plus 110. What do you think here?
Yeah, man, it's also a difficult fight to pick, man. I think Bartosz Fabinski, he's really, no disrespect, but he's kind of a blanket. You know how he fights, he takes to the ground and he lays on top of you and doesn't do a lot. 2 losses in the UFC against Michel Prazeres and Andre Muniz. 2 BJJ fighters who were able to submit him. All these others, Emil Mack, Darren Stewart, Garrett McClellan, they all got blanket against him, and he won in those fights. Now I got Gerald Mearshart. Gerald Mearshart has a good submission game himself, and I don't think he has much to fear on the feet against Fabinski, because Fabinski isn't that good on the feet, in my opinion, and on the ground. It kind of depends, I think Mearshart has the longevity to get to round 3, and Fabinski fades normally, I think, in the later rounds. But he's that strong that people probably don't get him on top of him, don't get him off top of them, But Mearshart can do that, in my opinion. I'm taking Mearshart via submission in the 3rd round here. I think he can do it.
Bro, I actually agree with you. I completely agree with you on this one. It's a really close fight, but I feel like in the end, Gerald's probably going to submit this guy. This guy's got a lot of problems with the submission defense. We saw against Andre Muniz. We saw against Michel Prazeres. Even the fight with Garrett McClellan, I watched that fight against today. He had him in multiple guillotine chokes. What's Gerald good at? Guillotine chokes. He's very good at them. So I feel like this fight's going to play out like Bartosz will get the takedown right away. And if you're betting on Gerald, you're going to be sweating this whole one. I'm telling you guys right now. You'll be sweating this bet if you bet on him, because Bartosz will have top position for a lot of this fight, I think, but eventually he will tire out, I think. And eventually, Gerald's just so crafty in the ground. This guy did dominate Darren Stewart in Cage Warriors, and that's a great win, especially considering the weight difference, right? But Gerald, man, I mean, this guy is very dynamic on the ground. Very good at getting submissions out of nowhere. I'm with you, Marcel. I was thinking, I thought I was going to be the genius coming on here saying third round submission, but that's exactly how I feel this one plays out. So looks like Kenshiro feels the same way too. He likes Gerald too. What do you think?
What did you expect me to pick before we broke this down?
I wasn't sure. I mean, this fight's super close. I mean, look at the odds. Like, I got to be honest. My initial instinct was kind of lean towards Fabinski, like the odds say, but I just feel like
if you look closer,
Yeah, I think if you look closer at this one too, because they're both grapplers. They're both grapplers. Mearshar's coming off the knockout losses to Heinisch and to Khamzat, but this guy has no power. He has no striking at all. None.
That's the thing. People will watch the Khamzat Chimaev fight and it's like, oh, he can't do this or can't do. Yeah, But I mean, nah, man, he definitely has a good shot against Fabinski, I think.
So you're thinking a submission? I'm thinking so too, actually. Yeah. And the line on that's even money. So basically, a finish in this fight. I'm thinking that way. I mean, it could be a decision too. I don't know if I want to go crazy on this one because I feel like it's going to be a sweat, man. I feel like if you're betting on Gerald, you're going to have Bartos on top of him like half the time, and you're going to be like, "Oh, please get the submission." Eventually, I do think he's going to get it though, because Bartos makes so many mistakes in the ground, man. He really does. He's good at being a blanket, like you said, Marcel, but that's all he's good at doing, really. They do call him the butcher because he's got some ground and pound and everything, but I don't know, man. I feel like Gerald's going to be able to kind of not evade those shots in the ground. So, yeah, that's what I'm leaning towards in that one. How about this fight? Another close one. Andre Arlovski against Chase Sherman. Odds right now, Andre minus 140, Sherman plus 120. And Arlovski coming in on short notice, if I'm not mistaken, Marcel. Filling in. Yeah, he's filling
Parker
in.
Porter.
There you go, Parker Porter. I'll be honest, guys. I really like Parker Porter in that fight. He was like plus 250 underdog. I really liked him there. I thought he had a good chance to win. What do you think of this one? This is a different fight, obviously. What are you thinking?
This is a pretty easy fight, actually, for me. Not easy to pick, but easy how I think it can go. I think either Chase Sherman lands a good punch and maybe knock him out in the first round, or Arlovski directs him into a decision, man. It's either one of those two. And I'm absolutely, I don't know, man, what I'm going to pick here. If it was 3 years ago, I would blindly go with Arlovski. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And because I think Chase Sherman isn't that great. And Arlovski still has the basics to get this fight, to easily win that fight in 3 years ago. Right now, I don't know, man. I mean, Arlovski's getting older. You saw against Aspinall. I know Aspinall is a big talent, So I mean, it happens. He won against Tanner Boser, was kind of a close fight. I don't know. The Philippe Lins fight was also not that great in my opinion. Man, I might take a gamble here, man. Yeah, sorry, I got you yawning from my.
That's okay. No, it's not that. It's not that. I'm just tired, man.
Yeah, I understand. Adam works hard, guys. So, man, always appreciate doing this with you. I'm going with a gamble here. I'm taking Chase Sherman knockout first round. This might be a thing. I'm going to regret this, but I'm doing it.
Man, this one's close. I mean, this could go either way, honestly. Chase Sherman's got some power and everything. He's aggressive. He's got good kicks, too. He's got really nasty kicks. I was watching his Titan FC fights back or whatever, Island fights, I think it was. Like, he was just knocking guys out with leg kicks. It was pretty impressive, yeah. So he's got that. But here's the problem with this guy. He hasn't fought in a year. And guess what, guys? He tested positive for steroids after his last fight. So I got a huge question mark with Chase Sherman right now, Marcel. I'm going to be honest. Also, it's like Chase Sherman's really not that great. I mean, his record in the UFC stinks. And I'll tell you a comparable fight. The fight when he fought Justin Willis, who has a very good jab. And Justin Willis just jabbed his face apart for 3 rounds. Listen, Arlovski is a guy that I don't bet on. I never pick him in fights, ever. The last time I picked him was against, oh, God, who was it against? I think it was against, I pick against him every fight, guys. I did get him against, what's this guy's name? Oh, Junior Albini. That was, I think, the last time. Did he even win that fight? I can't remember. Did he win that?
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
Yeah, he was an underdog. So that's the last time I picked him. Usually I pick against him. I'm like, he's going to get smoked and knocked out. And he usually does get knocked out. But he has won a few decisions lately against Rothwell, against Boser, against Lins. He's looked a little better, and he's got a high fight IQ, and he's got a ton of experience in the game. So if he doesn't get KO'd, he wins this fight. So, yeah, it's a huge risk because he might get knocked out quick. But I gotta be honest, Chase Sherman's chin's not that great either. Chase Sherman's been knocked down, knocked out a bunch of times too. I like Arlovski a little bit to beat Sherman, but man, it's a close fight. Because Chase Sherman, not the highest fight IQ, which is best for charging old guys like Andre, used to people have been blitzing him lately. Possibly, definitely possible. But I'm telling you, Chase Sherman's chin isn't great either. So yeah, it's a close fight. I'm leaning towards Arlovski, but I mean, yeah, Yeah, go ahead.
It honestly sucks that we. How do you mean that we are debating if we pick Arlovski or not? Because 3, 4 years ago, we blindly would go with Arlovski and now it's like, can he win against Sherman? And I think Sherman isn't even, no
I'm
disrespect to
with you.
Sherman, but he's even 10% that was Arlovski when he was when he was great. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, it kind of sucks, but I got the feeling he can knock him out. So if he doesn't knock him out, then Arlovski likely will win the decision because he can fight smart.
Yeah.
So,
here's what Kenshiro was saying. 12 years younger. I agree. And that's always an advantage, guys. But heavyweights generally are older and they're doing well. I mean, he beat a bunch of guys when they were younger. So, and Chase got better. I don't know.
I would never put my money on Chase Sherman for the simple reason that I don't trust him enough. You know what I mean? I don't think he has he's not the Tom Aspinall. He's not Chris Dawkins, who can win these fights against the older guys. Who can. I don't know. He can win the fight, but I wouldn't be 100%. I wouldn't parlay him. Definitely not this fight, and I wouldn't even bet on this fight. So yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you. And I just want to see what he tested positive for. Except steroids, literally steroids, guys. So he hasn't fought in a year because of steroids. That's probably why he got better, Kenshiro. Don't you think? Because he was juicing. I'm not just accusing him of juicing. He literally has been suspended for the last 9 months. He accepted the suspension. And again, the guys he beat in Titan FC, man, they're not good. They're really not. So I can't trust this guy, Marcel. He did look good against Ike, but again, he was juiced up, guys. He's not going to have the juice anymore.
The fight didn't get overturned for some reason. So
that's weird how it didn't. I guess it's because it's Florida or something. I don't know. But yeah, it's weird. Anyways, let's get to the next fight here. Next one, guys. Abdul over Zach Alasang is Jacob Malcoon. This fight's weird matchmaking. Alasang minus 300, Malcoon plus 250. What do you think here?
Yeah, let's be honest, man. Malcoon is purely in the UFC because he's Whittaker training's partner. Malcoon, he's again on the same card as Whittaker. Looked, sorry to say, awful against Phil Hawes. Got knocked out in 18 seconds in his UFC debut. Before that, he fought the regional scenes in Hex Fight Series and Eternal MMA in Australia. Hard to say, man. Didn't have the same opponent as Abdul Razak Al-Hassan, who finally goes up to middleweight. Missed weight 2 times, now going to middleweight. Got starched in his last fight against Chaos Williams. For that, the fight of the night fight with Munir Al-Aziz. Listen, man, if Al-Hassan can bring his knockout power with him to the 185 division, to middleweight, I have no reason not to believe that he cannot knock out Malcoon, because I don't think Malcoon is UFC ready. So Abdul Razak Hassan hasn't looked good in his last 2 fights, but I easily pick him via knockout in the first round.
Yeah, I'm with you on this one too. I think it's a good fight for him, honestly. Malcoon is, you know what? Okay, the first fight with Phil Hawes, it didn't last that long. He got knocked out quick. That's obviously a concern. But I watched his other fights in Australia. I mean, listen, he's kind of a fun fighter to watch. He's a brawler. The one fight with Cam Roston, that fight's incredible. That was a great fight. It's on Fight Pass in Brace. And that guy's a really good prospect too. He's actually won, I think, 4 straight fights. So he could be in the UFC at some point. I mean, these guys they're not terrible. I don't think he's as bad as people think he is in his debut. Having said that, he only has 4 wins. I don't know if he should be in the UFC either right now. He is there because of Whittaker's connection. I feel like this is the UFC setting up Alasang with a win. But here's the problem, man. If this guy doesn't win in the first round, he gasses out so hard. And as someone who bet him against Lazez, that was hard to watch, man. It was so frustrating because he had him hurt so bad in the first round. After that, it was just downhill. So I have question marks about this guy, the cardio. He's also 35 years old. Eh? He's not a young guy, Marcel. He missed 2 or 3 years because of this rape accusation a few years ago. Remember that? He missed a lot of his career. I feel like he kind of got fucking screwed a little bit because it turned out that girl lied about it. They were lying about it. Yeah, they lied about it.
It's good to say that he didn't get. How do you say that? That he got free, or how do you say that he didn't got?
I'm not sure what the word would be like. Yeah, I mean vindicated. I guess they lied about it. They lied, and the guy lost 2 years of his career because of some very vindictive people. So I feel bad for the dude in that way, but at the same time, man, I still think he wins this fight and everything. It's just that I got some concerns about this guy going forward. He should win this fight, though. I mean, let's be honest. Yeah. Let's go to the next one. We got 4 fights left. Ricardo Ramos against Bill Algio. This is a pretty good fight. Close fight. Basically pick him, but Algio slight favorite, minus 125. Ramos plus 105. What do you think?
Yeah, man. I mean, Bill Algio has always been on my radar with the, how do you say that? In the regional fight scene, I think he did great at Ring of Combat, CFFC. Always been a really good fighter, in my opinion. Made his debut against Ricardo Lamas was a close fight, a fight he could have won as well. Lamas won it. After that, came back against Spike Carlisle, looked really good, and won the fight against Spike Carlisle. Well, I think he was a betting underdog in that fight against Carlisle. Ricardo Ramos didn't look good in his last fight, man. He got pretty much. I didn't expect it at all that he got finished by Lerone Murphy. I know Murphy is good, but I thought Ramos could have given him a better fight. Before that, winning against Eduardo Garagori. No disrespect, but probably one guy with one of the best padded records in the UFC.
Yep.
Yeah, it is what it is. I got to say it. So. Yeah, I mean, Ramos gets a lot of praise for that spinning back elbow against Sahabi still, in 2017, but hasn't looked great against better opponents, in my opinion. And the thing is that Bill Algio, I have a belief in Bill Algio that he can really make something in this division, And Algio, I see Algio winning this one, man. I see him winning this unanimous decision. You only have to has to take in mind that Ramos is. As a top grappler, he as a BJJ guy. Sometimes I can't find the word, guys. I'm still trying to improve my English, but that he has to take care of that. But I'm taking Algio, man. I think Algio wins this fight, unanimous decision.
Yeah. Let's look at these comments. Kenshiro says, "No way to pick Malcoon." I said you picking Daniel. Yeah, you never know, right? He's talking about his straight wager. He says, "Yeah, he did. He lost 2 years of his career, man. That's brutal, especially at age 33 when he got." Accused of it, right? So poor guy, kind of sucks. I mean, we don't know exactly what happened, but he was vindicated, and I think they did admit that they made up the story or something.
I really hated that people still bring it up on Twitter.
I know.
And I'm like, come on, man. I mean, he got vindicated, and you still try to bring it up. I mean, some people just want to be vultures without. Fuck that. I can't stand that. And it's always from a certain side, certain people who keep doing that, without any evidence. You're going to accuse somebody, and then he got free from that accusation, and you keep accusing that person.
Marcel's fired up. Marcel's fired up, guys. He's fired up. That's okay. Let me just get my pick to this one quickly. I like Algio too, actually. I do think he wins this fight. He's just more well-rounded, more tough, I think, better chin. Overall, I mean, Ramos is not bad. Obviously, he's a pretty big dude. He has a youth advantage in this fight, which helps. Obviously, got more experience in the UFC, but I feel like he's a little bit on the decline, and I don't know if he's as good at 145. I think he was at 135 before, where he had more success. So I don't know. I feel like Algio is going to be the bigger, stronger guy, and just kind of out-wrestle him a little bit. Maybe I'll strike him. I don't know if there's a finish. I'm kind of leaning towards a decision here, but I do like Algio, guys. I do think he wins this fight. I think he's the better fighter. All right, next up, Luis Pena against Alex Munoz. Right now, the odds are close. Minus 145 Pena, plus 125 Munoz. What do you think?
I have kind of a very bad read on this fight, man. I think Luis Pena is a fun fighter to watch, but I think he's kind of overhyped in the UFC, and that's because of how he looks, the violent Bob Ross kind of thing. I know it's fun, and I think he's a good dude. He fights hard. But I mean, I don't see really the top 15 talent in him, to be really honest, Now fighting Alex Munoz. Alex Munoz lost his first fight in the UFC against Nasrat Haqparast, but that's not a bad loss in my opinion. Haqparast is legit, you know what I mean? Man, I'm going with Munoz. I think he takes fight to the ground, grinds it out for 3 rounds, and takes a unanimous decision in the back. That's what I think.
Yeah, this fight's close. I mean, I think it's really close. My initial lean was Munoz. Then I watched his fights. He's not that impressive to me, man. I got to be honest. He's not a great fighter, guys. He really isn't. I wanted to like him more. He's very average, I think. He's got okay wrestling, I guess. That's what he's known as, but he doesn't use it all that often. He usually gets Nick Newell. But Nick Newell literally has one arm.
He's kind of basic.
Yeah, he's very basic. I respect Nick Newell, by the way. The guy's he made it to the contenders with one arm. That's incredible. But he obviously has, he can't defend the takedown the same way other people can and stuff. And then the guy's other fight against Haqparast didn't look great. He couldn't take him down. And he got outstruck. He was on his back heels the whole fight. And even the fight in like that promotion in Hawaii where he got the UFC call up
for Lamson.
Bro, yeah, he didn't even look that great in that fight. So I was like, why is everyone so high on this guy? I'm thinking like it's just hype, guys. So as much as I don't want to pick Pena because I don't think he's a great fighter either, I feel like he is more well-rounded a little bit, and he's got good grappling. He's got the length and the reach in this fight. He's got an okay improving striking. Like he's not a great fighter, and he's not someone you really want to, lay crazy juice on. But it's close to a pick'em fight here. I mean, it's not crazy odds. Like his last fight with Conor Worthy was minus 270 and lost. Right, that's the worry with Pena. He got choked out in that fight, but. Let's be honest, he was probably going to win that fight up to that point, right?
Yeah, he was.
And if he had won that fight, he'd probably be an even bigger favorite here. So, yeah, I don't know. It's another weird one, but I'm going to pick Pena just slightly lean, Marcel. I was hoping he was going to be the underdog. I broke down the fights before I looked at the odds, and I was like, oh, man, he's the favorite, damn it. Because as an underdog, I would like him here as a dog. I don't think I could bet him as a favorite, but if the line switches and Pena's a dog, I'd think about it. I do think he's a slightly better fighter. All right,
I don't think the lines will switch probably. Man.
Probably not. I mean,
many people are still high on Pena.
For sure. All right, 2 fights left, all right? Drakkar Klose against Jeremy Stephens. This one's interesting because Jeremy's moving back up to lightweight. Drakkar was supposed to fight a few weeks ago, and this fight fell off against Pena, wasn't it?
Luis Pena, yeah, against Pena.
What the hell? So why are they not fighting each other? That is weird. That's weird.
Klose's one of Klose's teammates got COVID, so
no, I understood. I'm just saying, like they're both in the same card. Why are they not fighting each other? That's just weird.
No idea.
They already trained for each other. Anyways, give me your thoughts on this one. The odds right now they're very close. Minus 120 Stephens and Drakkar Klose plus 100. So pick 'em fight. What do you think?
Yeah, this is an age thing for me here, man. I think Klose has still a lot to gain in the UFC. I really like him. He got stopped by Dariush, but he landed some good shots himself, and he almost stopped Dariush, And I'm high on Dariush. Stephens hasn't looked great lately in the UFC. He sometimes he wins a round against a guy, but then he has lost 2 rounds, so he loses 29-28. Last win against Josh Emmett, those vicious elbows, a little bit too much ground and pound from my kind of view, but. Yeah, we know how Jeremy fights, right? And for Klose has to keep his distance, pick his shots. I think maybe get him to the ground. I'll try to out wrestle him. I don't know. I can't trust Jeremy Stephens. I'm sorry, man. Even when he goes to lightweight, he can featherweight. I think that Jeremy Stephens will always be a tough guy. But I don't see a top 15 guy in him anymore. I think Drakkar Klose can become the top 15 guy. Maybe not right now, but in 1 or 1.5 years, he can become that one. So I'm taking Drakkar Klose here, and I'm going with a decision win, 29-28. Let's do it again.
Sure. And last fight, he said Pena and Alex is too small. Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, he's not that great, I don't think. This fight, I mean, this is an interesting fight, obviously, right? Because Stephens moving at the lightweight. Like, we have no idea how he's going to look at the weight again. Maybe his chin's going to be better. Maybe he'll have more gas or something. I don't know. I mean, it's possible, right? This is not a terrible matchup for Drakkar Klose either, though. I mean, it's a close fight. That's why the odds are like this. So Klose, he's got the wrestling advantage, but will he use it? That's the question. I don't know if he will, because if you watch his fights, like he likes brawling, man, and it cost him really bad in his last fight with Dariush.
Yeah.
Bro, if Stephens connects on a big punch, he might knock this guy out too. Like, Josh Emmett got finished by him a few years ago. Everyone thinks Josh Emmett's amazing, right? He is. But don't forget what Jeremy Stephens did to him. He's did it his whole career. He's been knocking guys out in the UFC for like 15 years. Like, he's been in the Marcel. His first fight in the UFC was September 22nd, 2007 at UFC 76 knockout. The main event was Chuck Liddell and Keith Jardine. Keith Jardine was actually a plus 280 underdog and won that fight. And also on that card, we had John Fitch and Diego Sanchez and Shogun versus Forrest Griffin. And Forrest Griffin was an underdog in that fight too. So that's how long it's been, guys, since these guys have fought, or since he's been in the UFC, I should say. So that experience is something you can't put a price on. The problem is he hasn't won in forever. I can't pick him. I can't confidently pick him, but I feel like it could be a spot where he could get a knockout, because Klose's striking defense is not very good. But I feel like he's going to fight smart here after getting KO. He'll wrestle a little bit more. And if that's the case, Marcel, I got to go with Drakkar Klose too as a small underdog here, guys. Plus 105 or whatever, plus 100. Small underdog. I'll lean towards him. I I'd like to see these guys on the scale. I want to see what Jeremy looks like back at 155. I don't know if this is a good move for him, but it might turn out to be. He had to do something because he had lost like 4 or 5 fights in a row, right? He had the no contest in there too, but he's been on a losing skid. Anyways, Drakkar Klose. I think decision too. I mean, Stevens it's almost impossible to knock out. He's got an incredible chin. I know Yves Edwards did it all those years ago, but in general, and then Aldo knocked him out too. Body shots, right? I think, right?
Yeah, body shots.
Actually, I completely forgot Calvin Kattar, and I had a bet on Kattar in the last fight, knocked him out too. So yeah,
it was a nasty knockout.
Yeah, his chin's getting worse, guys. I mean, there's no doubt about it. That was brutal. The elbow, I think, it was caught him and just knocked him down, right? So brutal. So yeah, he's on decline, but maybe he's going to be more durable at 155. And if it turned into a war on the feet, I mean, do you really want to have Drakkar Klose in that kind of fight? I don't know. I think he's going to wrestle though, hopefully. All right, main event. Let's get to it. Best fight in the card, obviously. Robert Whittaker, Kelvin Gastelum. And big odds here, Marcel. Big odds on Rob, minus 250 and Kelvin plus 210. What's your thoughts on this one, man?
Yeah, I'm not even going to do a breakdown from this one. I have 3 ground rules in life. 1 is sleep, 2 is eat, and 3 you never pick against Robert Whittaker. So it's really simple for me. I never picked against Robert Whittaker, I think, the last 5-6 years. I think he's an amazing fighter. Should fight for the title next if he wins this one. Should have fought for the title already with his 2 wins, his 2 recent wins, in my opinion. Kelvin Gastelum did look good against Ian Heinisch. Before that, lost 3 fights. I mean, also stylistically, I think Whittaker wins this one, man. I don't see a way for Kelvin to really do something against Whittaker. Whittaker is good, man. I think people really don't give him enough credit after that Adesanya loss. That was his only loss in the last 6 years, I think. So Whittaker's really good. Has a good chin as well, in my opinion. Whittaker, man, decision for Whittaker.
I agree. That's what I like too. What's the odds on that? Whittaker by decision. What's the odds? Plus 100. You get even money on that.
Yeah.
Interesting bet. Because I don't think he finishes Kelvin, but he could. I try to stay away from props because you see so many times the fights we don't think go the distance end up going the distance or the other way around, But, I mean, that's what he does. He wins decisions, right? So Kelvin's super durable, obviously. I don't think, I know Jack Hermanson submitted him. I don't think Whittaker's going to submit him, right? Whittaker, I don't think knocks out Gastelum. He's got a good chin, too. I'm worried, if anything, that Gastelum might knock out Whittaker because Whittaker's actually shown some problems with his chin, man. He's getting dropped a lot. But in general, Marcel, I think it's a good matchup for him, right? Like he's a point fighter, mostly stays on the feet, good takedown defense. I think if Kelvin could mix in wrestling like he did with Heinisch, he had 6 takedowns in that fight. That's how he could beat here. But I don't see him getting the fight to the ground, So I'm with you. I like Whittaker. Go ahead.
And the thing is, Whittaker's fights wins decisions, but it's never boring in my opinion. He's a good fighter. He's a solid fighter. He got knocked down sometimes, but he got knocked down by Joel Romero, for example. And he came back from that. So I mean,
Derek Cannonier also knocked him down with a head kick, I think, in the 3rd round, right? He hurt him badly.
Yeah, he hurt him. Yeah, true.
Yeah,
but I mean, still, I would pick Whittaker in this one all the way.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I like Whittaker too. I'm not going to overthink it too much. Like, I could do I've seen these guys fight their whole careers. I just feel like this is a good match for Whittaker. I love both these guys, though, man. I remember watching this guy in Tough Smashes years ago when he won Tough Smashes, Marcel, and I was like, man, this guy's a really good fighter. And at 185, he's turned to a champion. And then with Kelvin, I remember when he fought in the Ultimate Fighter, I was like, he's going to beat Uriah Hall. He ended up winning that fight, and he's had a great career too. But
that's actually Ultimate Fighter winner against Ultimate Fighter winner, right?
And they were supposed to coach on the Ultimate Fighter, the heavy hitter season or whatever it was. And they ended up not because Whittaker pulled out the day of the fight with like intestinal pain or something.
Yeah, and then Kelvin walked with the Cejudo belt.
Yeah, exactly. Let's get what. Okay, let's see what these comments say. Because you'll be nice though. I got to see what you're saying. We also saw Kelvin lose to Whittaker a 10-lap marathon tough. Yeah, I agree. I mean, he's a fat featherweight. No, he's not a featherweight. He's not a featherweight. He's a welterweight. He's a welterweight who likes his burritos and like his, I don't know, what else? What's a really good Mexican food? Burritos, tacos, right? There you go. I had tacos for dinner last night. I love tacos too, man. They're amazing. Yeah, but
I mean, who am I to judge, right?
I know. I'm not to judge. Me and Marcel are not like we're not jacked or ripped or anything like that.
No, absolutely not.
So we can't play him, but he is a professional athlete. We're allowed to criticize him a little bit. I'm with you, Kenshiro. Like he should be at 170. I think we both agree on that. his best win is at 185 with Bisping and I guess Vitor, although that was overturned. But at 170, I felt like, you know, he had those close fights with like Woodley and Magny and they lost. But, you know, like he showed that he could compete with those top guys. At 185, we saw with Adesanya, the size difference in that fight was just crazy, you know? He did have success, though. He's got power. He rocked Izzy, right? So he's a featherweight. He's shorter than my 8-year-old son at middleweight. It's funny. Anyways, so yeah, going through the picks again. I mean, we both we had some different picks here, Marcel. I know that I picked Bush, you picked Hubbard, you picked Sherman, I picked Arlovski, and I'm just looking at the rest of them. I think we had the rest.
You picked Sarah Fern.
Sarah Fern, yeah. That's not a confident pick. I mean, I might end up. I don't want to change my pick. I don't think I will, but I want to see him on the scale because that girl to me on tape looks like a small girl for this division. I just got to get that second look at it when they're actually standing next to each other. But she's someone I'm definitely going to probably pick here because of the size. It's just sometimes when the skill is similar, the size really comes into play, in my opinion. Anyways, we got a few more minutes, guys. So if anyone has any questions, throw them out there. We'll talk about it. A couple more minutes here. But let's just quickly talk about this whole Conor thing. Last thing we'll talk about, I guess. He's tweeting about it today, and you know, I don't know what you're thinking. Did your thoughts change on this whole Conor Dustin thing, or?
No, not at all. What do you want me to say, right?
I don't know. I don't want you to say anything. I'm just asking. Go ahead.
Only thing that bugs me is that then other fighters coming like, "Oh, Conor, I want to fight you. Oh, come here, I want to fight you." It's like, come on, man. You know he's not going to fight you.
Yeah, and you know, Jimmy Flick came out with that retirement thing, and he was talking about how the fighters will never unionize because they'll never. There's always going to be someone that says, "I'll do it for this." You know what I mean? That's exactly what's going on here. Like these guys, we're all. I think a lot of people are like ticked off at Conor because of this whole thing, but there's always going to be someone else who wants to fight him. Kevin Lee and all these guys threw their hands up. Were you guys shocked when Bryce knocked out DJ? I wasn't, man. We talked about last week, Kenshiro. Me and Marcel both said, don't bet on DJ at this price. We think this guy's very underrated. He gets a knockout. Am I surprised he knocked him out like that? Sure. I mean, because we don't see knees like that in North America. But, yeah, I wasn't shocked by it, honestly. I wasn't shocked. It wasn't one of the ones that made my mouth drop, you know? Because I knew this guy was good. I knew he was good. How could anyone bet against current bantamweight champ plus 600? Come on. Yeah, no, you're right. I ended up passing, but you know, it is what it is. I thought the guy had a chance to win. I wasn't picking. I'm not going to go and be like, oh, I picked him. You know, a few days later, I didn't. We just said this guy has a better chance than the odds indicating. Anyways, I mean, might as well stop it now. We got 2 minutes left. Let's just finish it up, Marcel. Plug your stuff, man.
Big Marcel24 on Twitter and Instagram, MMADNA.nl, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. I'm doing a part of a Dutch podcast on Mondays as well, the Ricardo its name, and I'm doing on Wednesday. I'm doing a podcast about Bellator sometimes with a guy named Santiago. He's also on Twitter, so that's what I do mostly. And of course, I do the podcast with Adam Martin here on Monday and Tuesday, and I absolutely love to do him. So thank you for that, man.
No, man, I thank you. I mean, we all love you too, Marcel. We all want you here. Obviously, it's better with two people. And I remember I started it like 2 years ago. I was doing it by myself. That was different. It was a lot different back then. You know, I was just sitting in my room and talking about the news for like 10 or 15 minutes. Now we have like a full show. We do an hour. We got people that come on here and, you know, ask us questions and everything. Got a minute left. Got this last question. Marcel, do you like Glory kickboxing? You like it?
I don't stay awake for it or whatever, but sometimes I watch it. I really like Cedric Doumbé, Myrtle Grunat. That story, you know, they fought 3 times. That was really fun. Not really into the heavyweights, to be honest, man. I always liked the old guys, you know, like Peter Aerts, Ernesto Hoost, Badr Hari, great fighters, you know. And now with the Rico Verhoeven kind of thing. I know Rico Verhoeven has a huge fan base over here, but I don't really feel it, you know, to be really honest. So I'm more interested in the lighter weight classes, and I really like Pereira. Who doesn't like him, man? He's great. He's a double champion now for Glory. So, I mean, he's good. But with kickboxing, I really prefer the lower weight class. It's much more technical and much more quicker. And that's it.
His channel did a lot. That's great, man. I'm glad to hear that. Yeah, I used to watch it when it started, when like Joseph was. I don't know if Joseph Altoni's still fighting, but he lives in my neighborhood, or he grew up in my neighborhood, so I know him a little bit. He was in there, and I think he retired because of a concussion. Didn't he? Didn't he have a
Faltolini?
Yeah, didn't he? I think he retired, right? Yeah.
I don't know exactly. He's now a commentator for
yeah, he's great. Anyway, he's got 20 seconds left. Plug my stuff. MMA Adam Martin podcast, MMAOBdaily.com, YouTube. iTunes, everything. All the links are there, guys. Please sign up for that stuff. BJPen.com, Elite Fantasy, Elite Betting, my MMA News. I'll be back on Thursday at 4 p.m. Eastern with AJ. Have a good one, guys. Peace.